If the expense helps me make money, or it protects my business, or it even helps me to deliver my service, then it likely counts. Because it's not for personal enjoyment, but in order to earn your income. If it's a revenue generating activities, then you ought to remove the interest. Hi everyone, my name is Israel. In today's video, I'll be talking about allowable expenses, deductibles, and also tax reliefs that creatives can remove in order to pay only what they ought to pay. So what are allowable expenses? Allowable expenses are costs incurred only, reasonably, and exclusively to earn your income. So I want you to think of it this way. If the expense helps me make money, or it protects my business, or it even helps me to deliver my service, then it likely counts. But if it's for personal enjoyment, lifestyle, or luxury, then it likely doesn't count. If you noticed, I use the word likely because depending on your context, you might need to spend money on luxury things in order to earn your income. So imagine you're a content creator and you have to book a luxury hotel in order to shoot content for a brand campaign. Even though the hotel is luxury, it still counts as an expense because it's not for personal enjoyment, but in order to earn your income. So what are the common allowable expenses for creatives like us? Let me walk you through some expenses that I believe are allowable for creatives. And the first one is you need to invest in getting your camera. Maybe you need to buy a new lens, or you need to buy lights, modifiers, mic, any other equipment you can put here. And the second one is software and tools. Your subscription to Adobe, Canva, Pixelset, CapCut, and any other tools that you use. So those are some expenses that you can remove under this category. And the third one is internet and connection. You need internet to message your clients, send your files to your clients. You need internet to share files with other people. And the fourth one is transportation and logistics. The transportation to the session to get things that you need for the shoot. And the fifth one I have here is studio and workspace costs. So think about studio rentals, think about space rentals, think about location fee. These are expenses that you can also remove. Another one is marketing sales, your Instagram ads, your Facebook ads, your Google ads. All these are also expenses that you can remove. So the next one on my list is professional services, and that could cover the lawyers you need to pay when you have any legal battles, or your financial people that you need to hire to handle your books, and maybe tax consultants that you need to pay also to help you to understand or comply with this new tax. Another one I have on my list is training and development. So think about training in this way. Let's say you need to improve your skills in certain areas, or maybe lighting, and you register for a course, or you bought a course. These are expenses that you can remove when you incur them. Think about also maybe staff trainings, your staff trainings that you had to do. These are costs that you can also remove. Think about the lot, the presets, the actions you need to buy in order to improve your workflow. So these are deductibles that you need to remove also. So this last one are for business owners, business costs. Let's say maintenance of your studio space, or maintenance of your gears. Let's say staff payments, and also rent. So when you think about the things that are not allowable, think about the things that you will spend money on that won't make you to earn money. Let's say top life. Apart from the allowable expenses, for individuals, there's what we call tax reliefs also. That the government, in order to ease the burden on the amount of tax you pay, they have some tax reliefs for individuals or people that are self-employed who register as a business name. And the first one is the rent relief. It says that you should deduct your rent from your income if your rent is less than 500k, or you remove 20% of what your rent is worth. So take for instance, you pay 500k for rent, you ought to remove 500k as your rent relief. But if you're paying more than 500k, let's say you pay 1 million plus, you ought to remove 20% of what your rent is worth. So 20% of 1 million naira will be 200k. So your rent relief will be 200k if you're paying 1 million naira for your rent. Another one is the loan interest relief. For the loan interest relief, you ought to remove the interest of the loan you've taken through that year as your relief. But in order for you to enjoy this, you need to know this. Not all the loans that you take fit into this. That is, you need to think of purpose when you're about to remove your loan interest relief. That is, the loan that I've taken, is it a revenue generating activities? Is it generating money? is it meant to generate money? And if it's a revenue generating activities, then you ought to remove the interest. But you are limited to less than 30% interest. So if you take a loan that takes more than 30% interest, they don't fit this criteria. So the next one is the National Housing Funds, the National Health Insurance Scheme, the pension contribution, and also life insurance premium for yourself and your spouse. If you realize, most of the things that I just listed in this tax relief are related to people who fall under the bracket of personal income tax earner. So say for instance, you are a freelancer and you earn about 15 million naira per annum, and your allowable expenses falls to about 5 million naira, and then your tax reliefs is about 2 million naira. Your taxable income will no longer be 15 million naira but 8 million naira. The law allows you to reduce the tax that you pay legally if only you understand what counts and you track your expenses and you keep your records. I mean, for every transaction or every expenses that you make, you need to keep a receipt or anything that can prove that this is what you spend the money on. Also, invoicing matters this season. So for every client that reaches out to you or for every expenses that you need to incur, I want you to write an invoice for it or write a receipt for it. So in the next video, let's talk about the rate that you need to pay if you fall in each of these brackets: the personal income tax and also the company income tax. See you.